We are here to play out the second half of the year of NATO's administration in the game Mr. President. We hope you'll join us and see how things turn out here on Legendary Tactics. Okay, so we start out
with China.
Yes, because Russia acted in the first part, so now China is going to act in the second part. And China's
now how many actions does China get again?
Well, it depends. It's a variable thing.
Okay.
Depending on the role, you can see there's one extra action given because of concessions that I gave in the summit and so forth. So the first thing they're going to try and do is improving their strategic capabilities.
And they do.
To do in strategic recon.
Okay.
So,
but luckily you're still ahead, so that's fine.
Yes, and then they're going to try to do some espionage. And so we'll see how that goes. And fortunately, they're pretty incompetent, just like the Russians were.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yep. And now to improve their economy, they end up doing just that. Their economy improves. And so this is all prescribed kind of thing until this point, and they've actually end up with 7 actions, and so you walk through the different steps.
So, quelling internal dissent. So they're actually trying to calm down the populace.
Yes, and it's good because it burns an action with no effect on the rest of the
perfect.
game. Now they do a cyber attack on
targeting India.
Of all things.
Who would have thought that? Yeah.
Yeah. So all that data. And so they end up increasing the crisis level in that region as a result of their misinformation campaign. And now we're down to 5 actions. So we're ticking down.
Okay.
And they're going to do the One Belt, One Road initiative, which allows them to spread their influence. It's something that the Chinese are especially good at.
Okay, to neighboring regions. So they're looking at just ones right across from where they are.
Eastern Europe, Middle East, they're all over the place, and they're doing tensions grow as a result. Because
President NATO, stop being helpless, man. Come on. I love that.
The press is so harsh.
They are harsh on you. They're crushing you.
Yes, as always.
And tension is rising.
Yes, as you can see, various regions all over the world have to deal with tensions because of this initiative. It's really...
countries are not happy.
No, they are not. Not even Russia's happy with them for that.
Wow. Wow. Yes. And we're down to now 4 actions.
4 actions for China.
Okay. I'm holding my breath here for you so things don't get too rough.
Yes. And we have to watch the influence. They are so good at... And they're expanding their influence
Speaking of influence, yes.
And so they project their power into the South China Sea, which is not good. And that's something we have to watch, because if they get to 15, then we're in a position to auto-lose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And now they're going to try and secure the sea lanes in the South China Sea, which they do, and they're adding more tensions there as well.
Oh my gosh, look at all that. It's a sea of red.
I know.
Red tension.
They're causing a lot of stress. And it's funny because they're adding influence everywhere, but we're actually on really good terms with them. They're good trading partners.
We're good buddies.
But, man. Yeah, we didn't even have the opportunity to put sanctions on them because of our good relationship.
Our positive relationship with the Chinese. That's great.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a challenge. So
oil partnerships. So interesting.
So they're going to build some oil partnerships with South America, adding more influence there.
They kind of targeted them a little bit, South America. They've been working their way in there.
They seem to, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And that is their turn.
Yes, finally. So now we're going to try and improve the region's alignment in South America.
Oh, and we're gonna go to the UN.
Yes, and so
all right, go to the big show.
Yep, we're gonna try and do a speech. It doesn't work out.
You did not resonate. A cyber attack.
But we get a cyber attack on that rogue state level 3, which is good. It takes it down a notch. So those things are dangerous.
Okay, crisis chit draw. Draw 3 cards.
Yes.
Okay, so these will be 3 events then, Nato?
These will be 3 event cards. So First of all, world economic downturn, which affects all of the major economies. Basically,
okay.
Makes them all worse.
Great.
As you might expect. And this is, it lowers our economy. We had our economy was at peak performance.
It was booming.
It's down a bit. The EU also goes into recovery phase, and Russia gets hit with this, and China as well.
Oh, now Russia was a worsening economy too, so they're in the so is
they're worsening as well. So
okay,
yeah, but and then as a result of the economic downturn, the crisis levels go up in certain areas.
Eastern Europe takes a hit. Central America, boy,
it takes a hit. And Africa as well.
Africa.
So
now it seems most of the crisis levels the crisis levels aren't too bad yet.
They're not bad. I've tried to keep them down as best I could, but now there's a famine in North Korea, and so they get a lot of tensions added to them, and that stress may actually cause some issues down the road as well.
Strategic trade for food with China. North Korea trades materials for food and weapons.
Yes, so they actually improve their relative strength compared to South Korea. China's economy gets a bit of a boost as a result because they're doing some trade there.
Doing some good work.
Yeah, and then
now, are you worried about the Koreans at all right now, Nato?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's always a concern, but the tension levels are low enough. I wasn't actually that concerned. But
and meanwhile, automation is occurring in China.
Yep, they're getting a lot more. They get a boost to their economy because of this new automation technology, and they spread their influence around. So.
Oh man! Even though it's not their turn, they're still taking a turn.
They are still, yep. The crisis card. It boosts our economy, but they get a lot of influence out of it
as well out of the deal. Jeez, yeah.
And they feel pretty good about us again. So that card leaves the game, so that's good. It won't be back again.
Okay.
And we can skip right ahead to the third ally chit, and we get ally group B. So this is the UK.
Okay, so the UK is now stepping up to the plate here a little.
Yeah, and the UK is going to work on regional stability in Eastern Europe. Helps out a bunch there. And requesting humanitarian aid in Central South Asia just to lower the crisis level a bit.
And that happened too.
They were very helpful there. And then they do their own action where they basically attempt to deal with the crisis in Eastern Europe all on their own.
And look at that, down to 0.
They were very helpful.
Things are calm in Eastern Europe. Okay, yeah. Japan.
They're going to remove some tensions, and they're also going to do some stabilization of the region. In Asia Pacific, they've added a lot of stability there, which is so handy.
This is good, man. You got a lot of the different parts of the globe on board here with President Nato's regime.
Yes,
that's good.
And now their unilateral action, they actually
just kicking out China. I love it.
Yeah. It's very helpful. So that takes them down a notch because we needed that help. Now, the problem is North Korea
is a mess.
Is a bit of a mess. They got some tensions. They've got a famine going on. And my role is
and they rolled
terrible.
A 10.
They declare war on South Korea.
Oh, no.
Which is not good.
All right, so we've got a war going on.
We have a war going on. Now, North Korea doesn't actually have a lot of strength, certainly compared to all the... There's a lot of U.S. Presence in the region, so there's a fair amount of strength that they have to deal with. But in terms of their relative strength, they're slightly more powerful than South Korea, but...
are they? Oh.
But it's basically, they're...
This war is folly. I love you. I love your quote. Can I quote you on that, President?
Yes. Yes. There's a lot of U.S. forces there that can lend some support. So
you're not overly worried.
I'm not overly worried, but these things do, potentially spiral out of control as well.
Okay. Yes.
And even if they become a guerrilla war, then they just take forever to resolve. So that's
so they're just lingering.
That's the problem. Yeah.
Yes.
So we had that happening. Here's a little shot of where things are at. And now we take a look at the POTUS cabinet focus and see if we can get some stuff done there.
Now you're going to organize some priorities here.
No, they've already been set. We're just going to roll to see which ones I actually get.
Oh, okay.
The lowest priority one was blocked by the tension marker. So, and I missed the economy roll, but I got the cabinet effectiveness roll. So our cabinet begins to get a little better, which is handy.
You're improving things. Good.
Yep.
Public relations. Success.
Yes. And I need the help.
Yes, that's good. Get the media back on board, man.
Yes. And I get a bit of public approval as well. I'm down at 28%.
Good, because approval ratings are slightly terrible.
Yeah. And I missed the roll for the domestic crisis. So, but I do improve my relations with Congress, which is good.
That was a big issue for you. That was
yeah. The first half of the year, my relationship with Congress was just terrible. It was
tank.
Brutal. Yeah. So. Now the media rating degrades as it always does, as they get bored of me. So
yeah, that's right. just as you improve today. Jeez.
Yeah, and I try and corral the cabinet and do not succeed. I forgot to apply the other effects here by accident of that roll, but I do attempt to improve bipartisan relations, and I do not. Yeah. And the legislative...
you got to be careful here. Your legislation may not pass.
Oh, no, it's my opponent's legislation. I'm actually hoping that it doesn't pass.
Oh, yeah, you want to block it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and so there's a bit of cabinet drama and so forth, some tensions on one of the priorities there. And but the bill does not pass, which is really good for me. Because you don't want your opponent's bill to pass. You can veto it, but you do suffer some issues.
Probably some personal hits on that one, right?
And I lose an enemy in Congress, so that's super helpful.
Okay, you're just down to one radical, Lucio.
Yeah, so I got a lot of friends in Congress. So if I can just build the bipartisan cooperation, then I should be in a position to start pushing my own bills.
Okay, now. If you get a bill through, is that the win?
No. That just gives you bonuses and legacy points if you pass landmark legislation.
Okay. But, so it's a stepping stone.
Yeah, exactly. So, so there's just the media relations drop a little bit there, and public approval goes down as a result of the scandal continuing. My fundraising, questionable fundraising from last time.
President Nato, please.
I know.
Just hire an accountant.
So now we have 2 crisis cards to draw. So we'll see. We've got instability and civil war. Just general instability going on, as you can see in this news broadcast.
Yeah, it's just...
So then we got to roll to see where that instability hits.
Okay, and it looks like Middle East. Oh, yes. Great.
Yep.
Not like you've already got civil wars going on there.
I know. So another unstable state.
Oh my gosh.
Begins in the Middle East, unfortunately. So so.
Is it still part of your mandate? You really want to take a closer look at the Middle East?
Yeah, I really wanted to solve the Middle East. But
is that still a possibility, or are you giving up on it because it looks kind of hopeless?
I'm going to keep trying.
Good.
You're not going to solve it in a day.
Stiff upper lip. No. That's right. Rome wasn't built today.
Yeah.
That's right. So.
And then Russia steps in, starts exploiting oil reserves in the Antarctic. In the Arctic. Sorry. Yes. And so they get a boost to their economy as they begin to add some oil to the world's supply. And so we roll to see what happens. And Europe actually benefits from the surplus oil. However, Russia does add its influence to Europe.
Oh, Eurozone and Eastern. Okay. Yep.
So because they're providing, I guess, some cheap oil. Now, they are actually under less stress as a result of it. But it doesn't help me in trying to keep Russia down.
Mm-hmm.
So
these cards seem to be actually kind of harmful to you.
Yeah, they're mostly harmful. There are some good ones in there apparently, but So yeah. Now my focused national intelligence, I've got the superstars on the NSC staff card, so I get a few extra roles to see if I can do some intel operations in the different. I can't remember the thing in a different part of the world.
I see.
Is what it is, but
7, 8s, and 9s aren't going to probably cut it.
No, I did get a bit of a success against the one group there though. And advanced it a little bit along the track.
Oh, you're going back to the UN. A 10. That's not generally good.
No, just blah. No one was impressed.
A whole lot of meh.
Yep. So now I'm going to send my vice president to attempt to remove influence from the Eurozone.
All right, let's hope for better than a okay, 4. Well, that's promising.
Yes, we got it. We got it done. Bill Hansen did his job.
Okay.
So that's good. We need to dial that down because if Russian influence gets to 9, then we're in trouble.
Okay. It was getting kind of close. Yeah.
So Chief of Staff is going to see. This is Andy Lewis going to see if he can get his job done.
Ooh,
totally stumbles.
Not. Yeah.
The public gets ticked off. Yeah, not good. So we'll try again.
You're okay. One more time. And a 9. Turning into.
Yeah, again, brutal.
Someone else should be given this file, please, says the press.
Yes, the
Send
press
Lewis
is
home.
fed up.
They don't want Lewis.
They do not want him, no.
He's the embarrassment of the administration right now.
Yeah. And the crisis relief fails in Asia Pacific as well. The Secretary of State, ineffective.
Oh.
So we'll try the Secretary of Defense. We're going to request rapid capabilities, or DARPA. This is research to improve capabilities. So we're going to that takes place next turn, but we're going to leave.
You've got that in the books now.
Yeah, got them on the books, and we're going to perform some drone strikes here. And I made a mistake here. There were some other effects that were supposed to be applied, and I was supposed to get another attempt and so forth. Anyway.
Okay.
So mistakes were made, but nothing that totally changes.
Hey, you know what? That's presidential of you.
Yes.
Yes. You're owning it.
Yeah.
Oh no, a 10. That's generally not good.
I tried to remove some influence. It did not work. So we're going to try a cyber attack on this rogue state.
Now a 1 is generally considered, I think, a good roll.
It is a good roll. We managed to reduce that rogue state from 2 to 1. And then we're going to attempt to broker a peace. We have the UN help there in this where the ceasefire is, and we end up getting results.
Civil war ends. Oh, look at you!
You're civil war.
You're still in the Middle East. You're still trying.
Trying. Got to try and get
in the waning
control.
Days of your administration. You're not giving up. I love it.
Yeah. Now we're going to do a cyber attack on the Taliban, which didn't end up doing anything. So we couldn't even disrupt their Facebook account or whatever.
Nothing.
So now we draw some
crisis chit and crisis. Oh no, not more cards. Oh
more
boy.
cards. Here they come.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a 3, but there was no plus, so I think we just have to do the 3 here.
3 cards? Oh, okay, still.
Yes.
All right.
Now, Iraqi leader friendly to U.S. slain in car bombing. So this is sad. But
instability sure to follow in the coming months. Oh, boy.
Yes.
Oh, boy. Was this done in the U.S. or no?
This was overseas. So
okay.
Yeah, there's a bit of growth in the terror groups, unfortunately, there.
I would imagine that's going to happen, yeah.
They are emboldened, and the crisis level increases as well. And they're not as happy about the U.S. because there's we don't have the same sympathetic politicians.
On the UN.
Yeah.
They elect a new secretary.
They elect a new secretary general. And
excellent.
So from Central South Asia somewhere. So
okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so they do a humanitarian aid check and they fail it.
Oh, jeez.
And they do an alignment check, which also fails. So I'm not sure if this
person is doing great work yet.
Oh,
in a 10.
Yeah.
Trending down.
Yes, they are trending down. They're not happy with us. So yeah, overall that was not a good appointment as far as we're concerned. And then Iran decides to defy the IAEA. And
no more nuclear talk here.
Yeah, so there's some problems there, and there's going to be some effects in the region, getting tensions rising as a result.
Not back in the Middle East. Not after you've been doing such hard yeoman's work there.
Yeah, I've been trying, but Iran is a bit of a wild card in case you hadn't noticed.
Yes, yes.
All right, so we skip down to taking the some other actions. So we get diplomatic actions to remove influence. I'm just trying to get rid of as much influence as possible, just to keep
those numbers low.
Keep the numbers low. We got to get that out of there. Domestic crisis once again. Hard to solve.
Oh no! And you're down to 20% approval rating.
Yes. So we're going to work on media relations here. We're going to spend a presidential action point, and we roll.
Okay,
well.
2. Okay.
So the press becomes neutral.
They just don't care about you anymore. Either way.
Exactly.
That's fine.
But we get a bit of a boost in the polls.
That's fine. You need that too, because you're kind of tanking a bit, Mr. President.
And we get a little bit of a boost because our party relations are good. We actually get a boost up to 30% public approval.
Okay, you have just turned a corner here.
Yes. Suddenly things are looking good.
So terror or chaos, which shall it be? It shall be a 7, which is chaos. Oh no.
So we roll here to see which conflict track increases.
10.
It turns out to be U.S. and Iran. So we're a little bit more tense with Iran, possibly because of the whole nuclear thing.
Nuclear bit.
And then we draw a random cascading event, which is, interestingly, a Russian hybrid war in eastern Ukraine. So this is kind of interesting given the current world events happening. But anyway, at this stage, it's just an increase in tensions. So it's a NATO and Russia thing at the moment, but it is a cascading event which could strike later. So we need to be
and now
careful.
You get your last allies action here for the round.
That is D, which happens to be Canada.
Oh boy, the Great White North is coming in here.
Canada is going to do some intel for us in Central America, and going to increase the stability.
Oh, the Canucks are doing hard yeoman's work here.
Yes, absolutely.
This is great.
And then they act unilaterally, which happens to be improving trade with us.
Now, NATO, being part Canadian yourself, I know you're American president, but did you give yourself an extra turn?
I should have.
One extra Canadian action.
Yeah. But it does boost our economy right back up to peak capacity.
Performance,
right now.
excellent.
Yes, peak performance. So very good turn by Canada. Now we have Saudi Arabia Gulf states. And they help out with a bit of intel, I believe.
You know, they want this. They want the Middle East calm too. They do. They're trying here.
They're very close, and we're gonna. We're gonna try and attempt to stabilize the Middle East, and see how that goes. And it goes okay, but they basically did a unilateral action where they increased their oil production. And competing with Russia. So it actually helps the world economy except Russia.
Okay.
So that's fine with us.
And it looks like now it's onto the UN acting.
Yes, after this. So we're looking at... First of all, rogue state has to act.
Oh, okay.
And so it's between Iran or North Korea. So I flipped the coin and... Heads Iran, tails North Korea. So it's actually Iran that acts here.
That is going to act. Okay.
So we look at the tensions there and make a roll, and we see what happens.
+1 to the die roll. Okay.
Yep. And so they destabilize and reinforce, essentially. So it destabilizes the Middle East.
Great.
Yeah, and I did forget to check on the other rogue states or whatever. But anyway, on to the UN. The UN attempts humanitarian aid and doesn't do well. It must be that new Secretary General again.
Not doing the best work yet.
Yeah. So the
figuring out the
role. Yeah. So, but actually increases the stability in Central America. So
okay, good. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Oh, back to the Middle East. Okay, good.
Trying to take care of...
but a 10.
Yeah, didn't do anything as far as the terror groups there. And finally, peace talks in a civil war. We're just going to decide which one They
So Civil War it is. It looks like you took and ate.
And they blew it.
Did they ever?
They
oh
made
boy,
it worse.
we are one bad turn away from a major crisis.
Yeah. So I used an action point, and I said, "Let's try this negotiation again." And I rolled a little bit better.
There we go.
Reduced.
Okay.
So luckily, with U.S.
intervention,
help, yes, we managed to
turning down the heat.
Yes. So now the domestic actions, we're going to try and reduce this, and we managed to finally get a decent roll and reduce that domestic crisis. We're going to work on relations with Congress. I would love to get it up really, really nice and high, and we boost it a little bit further.
Okay, number 6 out of 8. Okay, good.
Now the party fundraising and support's automatic, so we get a boost there, and then we move on.
No, draw another chit. Oh boy.
Yes, and it's a crisis situation. So we roll a dice to see what happens and where it happens, and another crisis rocks the Middle East.
Oh, jeez, we can't escape it.
We cannot. It just keeps happening.
Now wars.
Yeah, so let's check in on the war in
Korea.
Yeah, in Afghanistan, because that one's still, or whatever. Yeah, that war in Afghanistan is still going. Yeah. So we still have that happening. So we roll. Now the odds are pretty much well in our favor, and we actually declare victory. So
excellent.
Yes, so we managed to win that battle or win the war, which it still leaves the region in a bit of crisis, and we have to add some military footprint, which has some unforeseen consequences later.
Okay.
But,
boy.
But yeah, so we have the.
Does the War 1 token get removed or no? Does it stay
will,
there?
yes.
Okay.
So we're just going to remove the rogue state here.
Sure.
And they're still around, but as a level 2 terror group as opposed to an actual open war. So
okay.
we still need to deal with them. We get some boost in party support.
Oh boy, your party relations have never been better.
And we get a legacy point, which helps us towards our legacy
your end game.
End game, yeah. And everything gets put back.
And there
to
goes
where it was.
War 1 removed. Okay,
yes.
Good.
So that settles things down a little bit there, and that's good for us. Obviously, we don't want to be
now President Nato. Can you broker peace in the Koreas?
That's going to be the challenge. That's going to be the real challenge. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, we've got a big material advantage in that one, so I'm hoping that it can actually just win. We can just win it.
Win it outright.
Yeah, because I think it would. It's something that. Now here, I'm not actually sure what I did. I did a roll, and I'm not actually sure what it was for. I'm sure and then I shifted the thing back to stalemate.
Yes.
And I'm not sure what I did. I assume I was following a rule somewhere. But
okay,
anyway,
all right.
So anyway, but I rolled the real roll here, and ended up with a 5, which shifted back towards our victory.
Okay.
So far, it shifted the war type as well. But again, I'm not sure if I did that correctly. So
exactly correct.
There's something
so
weird there.
Double check on those. The war rules.
Now the Civil War spins out of control in the Middle East. Major crisis, of course. Public begins to get mad at me again because things have spun out of control, and we get to roll to see what the effects are. The terror network deploys, which means they actually spread to other regions. So we're going to have
terror groups pop up.
Terror group pop up in the Eurozone, which to this point has actually been free and clear of any of that stuff.
Okay. And it instantly crisis level goes up 1,
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And then this one as well. I'm just testing for the Civil Wars to see if I can broker some sort of a ceasefire there. And we roll this one. And with the help of the UN, we actually end this Civil War.
Oh, so, excellent.
Well, it basically resolves on its own. So it was a good roll, and it lowered the temperature in Africa, which is great.
Excellent.
Now we take some more actions. We have some diplomatic. We're going to try and relieve the crisis level in, I believe that is in Central America. or South America. And again, we're going to do a
Yes.
raid in the Middle East, which is
Okay.
successful, but casualties were sustained.
Ah, yes.
So,
So
public gets
public
upset.
approval does not like that.
No,
They don't want to hear about that, NATO.
no. Gonna try and improve bipartisan cooperation, and we get lucky and we move up just by one step there, which is good.
Okay,
now we can actually
perfect.
introduce legislation.
Yes.
Yeah,
Your prestige track's going down pretty low, but
yeah, we're running low on APs, that's for sure. So we so we reduced the crisis level here, and I accidentally took an extra action here.
okay.
Because I attempted to improve the alignment in South America, and which I did. So we'll just disregard that. As I said, there's
Yes.
lots of opportunities to make mistakes in this one.
Sure, yeah.
So because the economy is good, it spills over, and I use that influence to improve the alignment in South America, which is
Okay.
great. And I also improved the alignment in the Eurozone. So they're almost fully on board with the U.S. agenda, which is great.
Oh, this is awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
you seem to be doing very well there.
Yeah.
Okay, and we are in the final phases here, eh?
Yes. So we draw one chit here. It's one
Okay.
card, which we need to draw. And because there's a plus, we have to draw a second one.
Oh, right, yes.
But
Okay, so the past is prologue. World crisis. Oh,
yes.
dear.
So this is a roll on a table, which basically deals with the idea is that there's this is something that's sprung up from before my presidency began.
Oh,
And
interesting.
it's further unrest in Iran that it results. So people are angry there, but it's nothing to do with what I did. It's just
Is your predecessor?
predecessor, yeah. So,
Oh, geez.
and then I drew the NSA chit, which is actually kind of neat. So you draw 2 crisis cards, and you choose which one you would like to remove from the game.
Oh, okay.
So this is kind of neat. So you kind of get a choice. And I have a healthcare in crisis or misunderstanding and neglect hurting an ally relationship.
Okay.
So it's kind of an interesting choice there to see which one you would like to see removed from the deck, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. So I went with the healthcare crisis. I figured my allies could deal with the what may. We can always
That's right.
invite them to the White House and improve the relationship. So,
Exactly. Yes.
yeah. So anyway, draw the next chit there.
Next card here. The world economy is booming.
Yeah. So what happened
that
there was
sounds
I
good.
had to roll to see if there was going to be another card drawn. So it may end the turn sooner, or maybe one more card.
Oh,
So,
I see. Okay.
yeah. And with the world economy booming, that kind of offsets the world economy going so poorly from before, because
Right.
we had world economic downturn already in place. So it kind of cancels that out a little bit.
Okay.
And then we move into the final part of the turn. It's kind of a
Is it like an end of
housekeeping-
turn cleanup? Yeah.
Yeah, end of turn cleanup. You put all the chits back into the cups, and then there's a bunch of rolls and things you do just based on where things ended up in the world. So there's some things like U.S. relations with China just degrade. It's just something that happens naturally.
Yes.
You can reorder your priorities. So I switched things around to make sure I was in line with the public
Smart. Yes.
public setup there. And then we have the regional stability in the different regions. So if regional stability is good, it actually removes terror groups. If regional stability is weak, it actually adds terror groups. So you have to be careful. I mean, obviously, the better the stability, the more likely the groups are going to be removed. But in most cases,
That's true. Yeah.
it's adding.
Oh, wow. Look at all the terror groups in Africa. Eh?
Yeah,
There's
it's
a lot there. Oof.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
Yeah, those are all going to be tough to deal with.
Eliminate, too.
Yeah. And then we have the recruiting. This just places a couple groups randomly.
A level 3 terror group. Oh boy.
Yeah, level 3 in the Middle East again. So the Middle East is just becoming a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So then I had to flip a coin to see which ally relationship was going to be worsened by the goings on, and it ended up being the Gulf states.
Okay.
So I need to invite them to the White House again to see if I can improve things.
Oh yeah, talk
next
them down.
time.
Love it.
Yeah. So anyway, we were also just checking to see which groups. There's a whole process you walk through where it shows some groups either merge or grow or whatever. So these are all die rolls on various tables, which I can't really show you, but it's just talking about what happens to the different groups.
Okay.
There's things like homeland security checks that prevent groups springing up in the United States, for example, and based on the overall situation and whether there's rogue states and so forth, it can cause certain terror groups to happen. Sometimes there's effects, sometimes there's not. The ongoing effect of the war is that our economy gets worse because we're funding that.
Oh, okay.
And the civil war in the Middle East drives it into another major crisis. Unfortunately,
oh my goodness,
I know. So
been tough to mitigate the Middle East this game, eh?
It has been. And so there's a level 1 group here. It gets a boost to be a level 2 group. It's actually a merging of 2 level 1s to become a level 2.
I'd be really curious to know, and maybe the viewers have some input on this, but if in their games have seen Middle East as problematic as yours, because that's actually a pretty true to life.
Oh, I know.
Conflict.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if that is actually very common with a lot of games, if they've built that into the game mechanic.
Yeah. It would be interesting to see. Now, our military footprint gives us random negative effects. So the stability was worsened in Central South Asia because of the conflict there that we were involved in.
Right.
And also another terror group was placed there as well.
Oh man.
So yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty stable in Eastern Europe anyway. That looked good.
Because of if there's good governments, it actually improves the stability, which is nice. So
excellent. You want to keep that nice and high?
Keep it nice and high. Stability is good, and alignment is good in any region because it's always easier to work with those in those situations. And sometimes tensions calm down. They if there's high stability, then the tensions decrease, which is good.
Excellent.
So then the world opinion of the U.S. Now in this case there was no changes, but
oh boy, public approval 20%.
Yes, our public approval, because we didn't fulfill our campaign promise. Our party relations and our public plummeted.
Hey, the good news is it can't go much lower.
Yes,
so don't worry.
But we got another enemy in Congress, and because they say the sharks are circling because I've got such low public approval.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, and then finally, once you've walked through that procedure, you begin to you take out half of the cards. Out of the discards.
Yes.
And you add in the New Year deck. You add the discards in and shuffle them up. And then you have your deck ready to go.
For year 2.
Yep. And then we just take a quick scan and make sure we see where we're standing in terms of the overall situation. And
wow. Okay.
We haven't lost yet. But
how are you feeling?
Well, I think I've done the best I can as I move into my second year. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to manage.
Yes.
But I think that overall, I feel like I did pretty well, given some bad rolling. I had some good rolling early in the game in the year, but then it went bad later on.
Yeah.
So,
it's true.
Yeah, but it's a lot of it too. This is an early game for me as well, so I'm still learning how everything interacts and how
that's right
to impact things.
That's right.
Yeah, but
Yes.
what did you think after having sat through and watched it?
It was actually really interesting. I just love how the story unfolded, and that actually I was becoming more and more intrigued with the Middle East piece actually,
Yes.
and the wars that crept up, and those, and even actually kind of China and Russia didn't do as much as I thought they were going to do. Like a lot of the roles seemed ineffective.
Yeah.
So,
we got lucky. For
yes,
sure.
because I know I had played a game, one of our earliest sandbox games, where it was like every single Russian action just like crushed me.
Yes.
So
yeah, exactly.
It's neat to see that there is some balance there. It's not always good, one extreme or the other. So that's good.
Yeah, so that's good. Well, thanks so much for joining us for part 2 of the first year of the administration of President Nato, and we hope you got an idea of the flow of the game from this video and the previous one, and we hope you'll give this game a try. It's really fun to play.
This has been
Legendary Tactics.